Hey everyone, I never thought I'd have to upload something like this on this channel, but this issue makes me so pissed that I've decided to do it anyway. So today we are going to talk about some issues with people using my trainified models. But before we start, I just wanna say that this video is not meant to offend anyone. Like I said, it's just something I want to discuss. And one more note, there's going to be some uncensored swearing in this video. Usually I'd censor swear words when I upload stuff here, but I'm not gonna do it for this video because I really have to blow off some steam this time. So, without further ado, let's get started. But what exactly is Mayhem's Ultimate Trainification Pack, and how did those models come to be, you may ask? Well, Mayhem's Ultimate Trainification Pack is a vector pack that is meant to be used with Scratch. It basically contains trained versions of users and their OCs, both actual Scratchers, and people who don't use Scratch at all, as well as some rolling stock, backdrops, and scene props. It is actually inspired by various VeggieTales model packs for Blender, most notably Seaman Flip's Ultimate VeggieTales model pack. But instead of 3D funny talking vegetables, you have 2D talking train engines, of course. As for how my models came to be, simply put, there's actually some Scratch users who also make trained versions of various characters. Most of them are just fictional characters from various properties, but I prefer doing users' OCs, as both a form of fan art, and to let everyone know of their existence. Unfortunately though, my models are misused almost all the time, which is the main reason why I made this video, and this actually brings me to the first issue, so let's start. Number 1, models left to rot. Simply put, unlike other people's models, mine are almost never used by anyone. Oh, and here's the best part, I actually prefer making my trainified models a little more unique, by using American trained bases as opposed to British ones, because you know, Thomas is British. And I also like coming up with actual paint scheme designs, instead of just recoloring a Thomas model and calling it good. Well, whenever I can actually do it, that is. And despite these unique aspects for my models, they are mostly just left to rot, and I genuinely don't know why. Is it because they're based on American engines? Is it because of the paint schemes? I literally cannot tell you. Number 2, unnecessary recoloring. When people do actually use my models, they mainly just recolor them into something else, and don't use the original models at all. In the README file for Mayhem's Trainification Pack, it stated that people can use them to make their own OCs if they want, as long as they also use the original models. But sadly, people just prefer recoloring them, and that's it. Earlier on in this video, I explained how my model pack was inspired by VeggieTales model packs. Well, imagine that you are a well-known VeggieTales animator, and you decide to make a Larry model for people to use. But instead of using it as it is, they just take it, recolor it, and just ignore the OG version of it. How would you feel about it? You'd feel bad about it, wouldn't you? Well, guess what? That is exactly what they have been doing to my fucking models every single time. It genuinely makes me feel sad, so yeah. Man, I really gotta rethink my model recolor policy. Number 3, crediting. Ooh boy, crediting, something that people don't seem to give a shit about. Especially on YouTube, when kids use my models with zero credit whatsoever, and I find it extremely annoying. Now here is a list of people who made my trainification pack possible. You can pause and read it if you want. Now earlier I said how people would leave the OG versions of models to rot, and that also goes for my user models too. Honestly, what's wrong with giving credit to someone who doesn't even fucking use Scratch? Like for example, every time I use my Seaman model in a Scratch project of mine, I always make sure to give credit to him as well, despite the fact that he doesn't use Scratch at all. Honestly, people should just start doing the same thing as well when using my models, like. That's the whole fucking point of my model pack, to let everyone know about those people's existence as well. Again, what's wrong with giving credit to non-Scratch users? Nothing, there is clearly nothing wrong with it, so why do people keep doing this to my models? I have zero idea. Number 4, possible misty obsession. Now this one is more of a thought I have, but I still feel like telling you all about it. I have this weird feeling that kids are secretly obsessed with my trainified Misty Firefox model. Like, do they even know who that person even is? Well, I think it's mostly due to the fact that I based it off a Siemens ACS64, and people seem to be obsessed with that kind of engine. To be frank, I wasn't completely familiar with her either at first. I just knew of her existence simply because she's acquainted to someone else I knew, and I still felt like doing a trainified model of her for some reason, so yeah. And that's pretty much it for this list. Some of you might be saying that you can't force others to do stuff your way, and that's true. It's just that all of this just makes me feel extra pissed, and I wanted to address all of these issues. Others might be saying that I'm making a big deal out of what is essentially scratch sprites, and to those people I say, I don't fucking care. I literally work really hard on these models only for them to get misused every single bloody time, and I'm sick and tired of it. And finally, if you do use my trainification pack for Scratch, and my trainified models as a whole, make sure to read the README file first before using them. And that was a list of issues with people misusing my trainified stuff. And as a final unrelated note, please follow my main account, @OlMayamBoy, as well, as this is just an alt account. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all, well, whenever I feel like making a trainified thing that is.